going on, guys? Roger and Marco here, QVO Tactical. Today we are bringing you a video that I have been getting massive amounts of DMs and emails about. Pretty much which GLOCK-CATTO, so which Glock-fed 1911 hammer-fired gun is the one you should get. The recent release of the Staccato HD here has been getting a lot of people looking into the hammer-fired 1911 platform, which is awesome, which is great. But we get a bunch of questions like, hey, should I drop the coin and get the new Staccato HD, or should I go with the OG Stealth Arms Platypus, or the new contender XP Fusion, the XP Pro from Fusion Firearms? So I figured we have all three, we've shot all three, we've done full range videos. If you're interested in one already, definitely go look at those full length videos. But I figured we'd put a video together kind of going over all three, our thoughts from our shooting experience and backgrounds, and kind of just break it down for you guys and hopefully help you answer some questions that you may have, or help answer some questions you may have. Real quick, I think we're going to do, what, 5 different categories? Yeah. We'll do speed, accuracy, ergonomics, so like the grip angle stuff, I want to talk about that, how the optic is mounted, and then price point. So those are 5 categories. We're going to break it down, and we'll start off just jumping into speed, and we'll I'm going to do some build drills. I'll probably run like 3 to 5 build drills with each one, take my best run, and then I'll also have Marco do his super quick John Wick doubles. Yeah. And we'll see what kind of times. From my recollection, I'm pretty sure they're all pretty comparable.
Very close.
So, but yeah, let's jump into the speed. Got a 181. Best foot was a 15. First shot was 1 second flat. And 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie for a 181. So we had 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie at a 181 with the Stealth Arms. Now with the XP Pro from Fusion Firearms, let's see what we get. Got a 191, so 1/10 of a second. First shot was a 108. Best splits were 16. And again, 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie for a 191. So I think we can all agree that a 1/10 of a second is pretty negligible. Now for the Staccato HD. .180. So 1.8, first shot was a 101, best split was a 15. And once again, 5 Alpha, 1 Charlie for a 1.80. So my best run was the Staccato HD at a 1.8. Second best was the Platypus at a 1.81. And then I had a 191 with the XP Fusion Pro. So like I said, from my recollection, they're all pretty comparable. They're all within the same realm in regards to speed and the trigger. All the triggers feel good, and we're able to get good results with all of them. So Marco, shooting doubles, kind of explain to the audience, what are you looking for?
Basically, just going to watch really how the gun tracks and how fast and consistent you get that split in. So the 1-2, 1-2, and you want to see really keep concentrated on what the dot does, because that should dictate how fast you be shooting, because you want to try to get them alphas. So, all
right, here
we'll see.
Standing by. So your best split was a 14.
Yep.
And let's go take a look at the groupings. Those are pretty tight.
A little opened up. 1-2, 1-2. Gun was doing this. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. But consistent dot movement, top right.
I love how you're like, oh, it's opened up a little bit. I'm all like, this is pretty tight to me.
Yeah, tight to me is like, usually that's pretty tight to me, what I consider. But
at a 14
consistent,
split, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, consistent up, down, upright, upright, upright. So.
Okay, so Stealth Arms Platypus. Yeah. You're looking at your best split being a .14. You guys will see this SG timer. Will highlight it in black.
Yeah, that's like a comfortable speed to get that kind of wide. I can probably pick up the speed more, but it'll just get used to the dot a little bit more. That's what it comes down to.
Next up, Fusion Firearms XP Pro. Here we go. Stand by. Your best split there was a 13, so 0.13, and a little bit of a wider
similar
spread.
But yeah, it'll do this for me again, almost this motion. A little more straighter-ish.
Where's your first shot, and then where's your second
usually
shot?
First shot's like within this vicinity, and it goes upright again,
so
like
you're
that.
Shooting on the bounce up?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're letting it settle-ish back down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So your
when
first
I see
shot's here, the sight comes up, and then as
then
it's
I'll
come
try
back
to-
down, you're breaking it here again. Okay.
at that
And that
split
was
speed.
at a 1.3. You guys will see here, which, what is that, 100th of a second faster?
Yeah.
But your other group was probably like
a little tighter, yeah.
a 5-inch spread. This is probably like 7, 8-inch spread.
Yeah.
Last up, Scotto HD.
Yep.
Stand by. And best foot there is a 14.14.
A lot tighter.
So guys, keep in mind, our Scotto HD does have the Genghis comp porting from Monsoon Tactical, so I definitely think you're overdriving it.
Yeah, overdriving it on this one.
So the gun's stupid flat.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. It's not a true apples to apples comparison because we did send this out to get ported. Definitely check that video out if you haven't. But kind of break this down. Similar, I'd say.
Similar kind of
grouping.
Style. This one kind of does a V-ish. The way, but the comp makes a big difference because it brings the gun back down quicker. That's the plus side to that.
And you guys can see 0.14 again. Very, very comparable.
All pretty close. Trigger feel wise, they're all pretty close.
Now you were telling me before, because our platypus that we have is 5 inches.
The long barrel.
So the longer, so 1-inch barrel being over the 4-inch, kind of you said it.
Yeah, the longer slide essentially that extra weight's going to bring the gun back down slightly quicker. With that that load we're using, the 115 right now.
So you think that's maybe the reason?
That's the reason it'll
up a little more on the
slightly
XP versus the stealth.
And the XP is a little bit on the lighter side, slightly. So it does kind of want to do this slightly more, but very negligible. Most people won't even notice, to be honest with you guys. You do notice the port though. The port will make a big difference. So, port versus non-ported gun.
Cool.
Yep.
For the accuracy portion, guys, we're going to shoot 4-round groups, 15 yards, bench rested. Phone is recording downrange so you guys can see. And yeah, see how it does. Here we go. First up, stealth arms. Alright, let's take a look. Down here at the target with these stealth arms, guys, and it is 1.5-inch group for the 4 rounds. So I'll mark these up and then we will shoot with the XP Fusion Pro next. Take a look. XP Pro from Fusion, a little wider of a group. I think we're at, this is going to be, it's 1 7/8, so just under 2 inches. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so I don't know if we had a flyer with this one or what. So I'm going to mark these up, measure, and just to be sure, I'll shoot a second group with the HD to make sure that it's consistent with this group. But furthest to furthest, probably these two. And we're looking at 2 3/8. Just under a half. So I'll shoot one more group with the HD just to verify. I know we got a little bit of wind moving the target, but I just want to see, because we did get better results when we did the full video with the Genghis comp. Phone's recording downrange, and we're not going to aim at the top left diamond. That way it doesn't keep it with the other previous shot, so we can see just a better picture here. Alright, let's go take a look. Alright guys, so looking at this other group with the Staccato HD, I thought I had a mic, I thought I missed, and then we slowed down the footage, and that last round went right through this hole. Marco, you were saying in matches they what?
So in matches, that happens a lot. I've actually lost 3 matches because you call for an overlay, and the RO takes an overlay card. I don't have it with me today, but they take 2 cards with the holes of your caliber you're using, so 9mm, and it stack them together to see what the grease rings are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that'd be a hard one to call.
I thought I missed. We went back. We'll bring it up in slow motion so you guys can see, but yeah, the last round went through there. So this is our group. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's probably our tightest grip out of all of them.
A double, as we say.
That's a true double right there. That is, what, 7/8, so sub 1 inch group, which is to be expected from Staccato. So yeah, super awesome to see that. And then guys, for the ammo, we shot all of these groupings with the SuperVel solid copper hollow point. This is their plus P 115 grain. This is what you actually carry for your defensive ammo. I've been playing around with it, probably whatever we switch over to. I still have a kind of a bunch of my previous defensive ammo I got to shoot through. So we got speed and accuracy out of the way for you guys. Let's jump into ergonomics. So one of the big things when people started making specifically stealth arms, when they started coming out with, you know, a Glock-fed 1911 style gun, my concern was the grip angle. For me, when I was joining law enforcement in my early 20s, I went through a bunch of different handguns. I didn't have any formal training, but when I picked up a 1911 and presented it, like the bullets, just my point of aim was my point of impact. And didn't know much about it until I got really into shooting later on in my career to realize, like, for me, the grip angle of a 1911 just makes it to where it lines up with my sight, my line of sight. So that for me has been really great. I mean, it's the reason you see it in competition. Like, most guys win with 2011s.
Pretty much.
With double stack 1911s.
It's a dominant gun since forever. It points very easy. It's the best way to put it.
So anyway, with that in mind, my concern was, hey, are these companies going to be able to get the same grip angle using, you know, a Glock pattern magazine? And I will say, Staccato did it. It matches. I thought it wasn't until you line it up, you know, with another 2011, and it is exact. So it is there. They were able to achieve that. Now, the other two companies, when I first shot the stealth arms, I did notice it had a little bit of the Glock grip angle, which was to be expected because of the feed angle of the magazine. And so you guys will see this overlaid, or the B-roll, but when you overlay the guns, as I'm doing here, I line up grip to grip, you'll see that the stealth arms is just slightly up. And I'm talking negligible, guys. Maybe like 3 to 5 degrees. It's not, like, when I start shooting fast, it's nothing that I notice. It's very easy to get used to. It's still very familiar with it being a 1911. But, you know, the grip angle is not exact, but it is very, very dang close. Now, doing the same thing with the XP Pro, I noticed it was the opposite, to where when you line up the grips, the XP Pro is pointed down, and again, like 3 to 5 degrees. So the XP Pro points down, the stealth arm points up. So with a Glock, I typically notice when I present with a Glock, it's pointed up. I have to bring my wrist forward and make the gun come down. And that's similar with the stealth arms, which makes sense to me with it being, you know, Glock pattern magazine. Now the XP Pro is a little different, to where I'm having to come back slightly. Again, guys, we're talking 3 to 5 degree difference. It's not something like, if I hop on the range with this after, you know, maybe 2 or 3 bill drills, I'm just normally pointing now, and it's not a big deal. So if that's a concern for you, I wouldn't let it be a concern. I think all of them you'll be happy with in regards to the grip angle.
Yep.
I mean, you shoot plenty of 1911, 2011s. You're what? You shoot the TTI Sand Viper or Pit Viper?
Sand Viper for the 2011s, and then I shoot Combat Masters for Glocks. So, once you shoot a couple rounds, your body will naturally just kind of get there. Especially with the red dots, makes life easier because your point of aim is just really easier.
But if you're very nitpicky and you're somebody that's like, nope, I want the true 1911, 2011 grip angle, the only one that's exact, in my opinion, and from lining them up and checking, is the Staccato HD. So that's from, you know, us shooting them, guys, and lining them up here for you on the channel. You're seeing what we see. So, you know, I've heard other people say, like, no, it's exact with the other platforms. When I line them up, it is not. But we're talking a negligible, like, 3 to 5 degrees down with the XP, and with the stealth, lining them up, it is just like, the stealth is super, super close. Like, it is very, very close. So, but yeah, just want to break that down for you guys. Let's hop into the Optic cut now, because I know that is kind of a big deal, especially if plates do or do not come with the platform. So if you buy the Staccato HD, guys, it does not come with the plate. I want to say they're $50 to $75, I think.
Yeah.
It's weird because Staccato direct mounts the Optic, but you do need a spacer plate for it to, you know, fit correctly. Meaning that the screws for the Optic actually do go into the metal of the slide, which is great. That's what you want. But for it to seat properly and lock into place, you will need their spacer plates that they do sell. The other thing to note is that with the HD, you're going to have the rear iron forward of the Optic. Some people really like that. I don't really care either way. I just am happy that there are backup irons. If you're somebody that wants, your main focus to be the Optic and the secondary, which, a lot of people argue, and I agree that it should be, then that's probably the route to go. But if you're somebody that's so used to the iron being back there, I believe Dawson Precision now is making a plate where it's going to put irons behind it, so you can go that route too. So either way, but it does come in this configuration, and you will have to buy a plate. The XP Pro, I believe, comes with the RMR plate. We're using a 508T, and very clean. It has irons built into it. The co-witness is extremely low. That's something I like. You guys will be seeing that in some B-roll here. We'll bring all three up into the field of view for you so you can see what we see when we're looking down through the Optic. But it does come with the plate, so that is good. And we'll talk about the price point at the end, but a very good deal that it comes with the plate and the price point on it. Stealth arms, something that a lot of people out there, this might be the deal breaker for them, or what they want is that they directly cut the gun for the Optic that you choose. I wanted, with this color combo that I chose, I wanted to get a FDE Acro, which I did, and this gun is cut for the Acro. Very, very minimal profile, backup iron. I really like how they did it, but it is directly mounted, making it super low, which is great. A lot of people want that too. But now I am only limited to this Acro footprint, so I can't, put a plate on there and switch it out. So if you end up choosing something for your stealth arms, make sure you're choosing an Optic footprint that is going to be around. So in my opinion, I don't think the Acro is going anywhere.
Going nowhere.
But to be safe, I would definitely tell you go with the RMR footprint because there are so many different Optic companies that use that footprint. Anything on that?
No.
What would you choose, direct mount or plate?
I personally like direct mount because I'm never going to change it. I like the RMR cuts to use a Holosun 507 comp. So that's my dedicated red dot sight for all my guns, for handguns. That's all I care about. But I prefer direct mount because I don't want to deal with plates. Sometimes they'll get sheared off if it's hard use or long-term usage because we'll put like 10 to 50,000 rounds a year, sometimes depending the match season. Just depends, but I just like direct mount. Less to deal with. So.
Yeah. And so I was saying earlier is that some people, they only want direct mount. So not being direct mount might be a deal breaker for you. And if that's the case, well, Stealth Arms does do it directly mounted. Yep. Again, Staccato, yes, they are doing direct mounted, but you will still need to source the correct plate depending on the Optic you have for it to work correctly. You don't want to just bolt this on without a plate. So you end up probably shearing off the screws.
Yeah. Not fun.
So, all right, guys, we're going to jump into the cost breakdown for each setup, and then we'll get into final thoughts on it. So I say on three, because I don't know which one he's going to pick. I know which one I'm going to pick. But on three, we pick the one that we would go with. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Hey. Yes. So for me, guys, I don't typically do comparison videos, but I was getting, like I said earlier, I was getting so many questions about this. Me personally, if I had to pick out of the three, I would go with the Stealth Arms Platypus. The reasons being, I do prefer the direct mount. It's superior. You don't have stack tolerances. You're not having to do a plate. In addition to that, Stealth lets you customize the crap out of this thing from, like, I picked all these Cerakote colors. You guys keep asking which FDE I used. I'm not sure. I look back on my order. It's not listed. I just built it on the configurator, and it looked cool, and that's what I did. But you can change, like, the trigger color. You can change, like, the inlay on the serrations to a different color. You can pick your own serial number. You can do all of that craziness. If you just want to get, this gun direct cut for RMR in black with the magwell, I want to say it's like $1,725. That's pretty dang cool. It's a great price. They do have bull barrel options now as well. So I think overall, best bang for the buck. My only gripes would be, like, the grip angle isn't exact, but as you guys saw from the B-roll we just did, it's very, very negligible, so it's not a huge deal to me. The big thing for me, though, the grip is still slimline enough to where it feels just like a double stacked, 1911. I don't feel any difference when I'm using this versus, my Staccato P or an XC or in regards to the grip angle. It's not port or anything like that, so don't get me confused with saying this feels just like my XC. Grip-wise, yes. Shooting-wise, no. I would take my XC over all of these guns.
Yeah, it's mainly the texture that does it for me. Super aggressive, which I like for a competition-style gun.
And you choose that. You can pick if you want super aggressive like I did, or if you want, not as aggressive.
Yeah, like this thing, when you're on it, doesn't move. Like, I usually use ceramic carbide on top of my stuff, but this is very usable. So, and the customizability, like you said, any color you want. Direct mount is big on me. I prefer direct. Mainly because I've had optics shear off before, and it's not fun. Usually hits you in the Pro or the face, which hurts.
Now, those are personal preferences to us, guys, but like when you're talking, you know, if budget, if that's your number one thing, like, hey, I'm jumping over from striker fire, I'm coming from Glock, and I want to get into this hammer fired world, but I don't want to break the bank, then XP Fusion Pro. This thing really impressed the crap out of both of us.
Yeah.
And it's an all metal gun, which I really like. Metal grip, metal frame, metal slide. Same thing with the Stealth. It's all metal, but this is like a price point of like $1,200.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's
And
like
if
what you're getting.
that's if you want the
Ridiculous,
two-tone. I
yeah.
think if you just want all black, I think it's $1,100. So insane deal because it
Yeah.
comes, you know, with your optic plate and an all metal grip. I do wish the texture was a little more aggressive.
Yeah, kind of on the soft end. So.
But I think they're coming out with a different texture models of the grips, and I wish that these windows that they had would incorporate a ported barrel, which is something else I think they're working on. But you know, like best bang for your buck, this is, you know, $1,200, $1,100 if you want all black, and it's an all metal double stack 1911 with a very, very, you know, decent
nice.
trigger. Like
Yeah,
you guys
nice,
saw,
yeah.
we were getting comparable bill drills and stuff. So you know, if the price point is a huge thing for you, then yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed if you go with the XP Pro. Now, you know, we met with Bob over there during SHOT Show at the Fusion Firearms booth, and you know, we got to learn a lot about the company. And yes, guys, they're sourcing this stuff from Turkey, but they're going out there, they're FaceTiming, they're doing video conferences and teaching everybody how to hand lap and how to hand fit these guns. Because we were very confused on how the price point was so low, but the tolerances were so good, and everything felt, you know, it felt like a well-tuned 1911.
Yeah, like they actually care about the product, which is nice to see in a gun company.
So if that's something you're into, and you know, hey, the price point's a huge thing, then yeah, I think you're going to be very, very happy with the XP Pro from Fusion Firearms. Now, on the Staccato HD, guys, I'm a big Staccato fanboy, so understand, like, I think this is my 18th Staccato. Well, you know.
Yeah, it's too many. One too many.
Like, I have two XCs. The XC is my favorite 2011. But I will say this, the Staccato HD is my least favorite 2011. And that's just because from shooting 1911s and 2011s for so long, I'm used to the grip up here being much thinner. Having this fatter bevel that comes out, it's caused like a permanent, you know, scar here on my webbing of my hand. Him and I both got it. I will say this, like, I don't enjoy shooting this nearly as much as I enjoy shooting my other Staccatos. But I understand, you know, this was a gun that they got a lot of feedback from with military law enforcement that were looking for something like this. That's why they made it. You know, like stuff like we said in the previous video, beaver tail safeties, I don't care if it has it or doesn't have it. Doesn't really matter to me. But with this safety and with the way they opened up the back of this grip, when we are shooting, we end up squeezing the grip and it pops up on its own and ends up, you know, causing us to have a dead trigger.
Contour. Yeah.
So just something we noticed. Not saying you shouldn't get it. There are plenty of people who shut the crap out of this thing and prefer this. But I also think those are people that are coming over from wider frame, double stacked, you know, polymer striker fire guns.
Price point kind of high.
Yeah, price point.
Pretty high.
I think the lowest price point is $2,500, I believe.
That's like almost two of these. Almost there.
So, but you know, it is Staccato. You saw the difference in the accuracy that we got.
Yeah.
You know, that's something to be said, and that's after we poured it too. So there's something to be said about that, and there's something to be said, you know, Staccato's kind of like, you know, the higher tier when it comes to these semi-production level double stack 1911, 2011 guns. So, but I will say, like, if I'm talking Glock-fed double stack 1911s or 2011s, I'm going with the Stealth Arms Platypus. Then I would go with the XP, and then I would go with the Staccato HD.
Yeah,
now, if we're talking, hey, just pick a 1911, 2011 that you want to go with, then I'm taking my Staccato XC. You're probably taking your Sand
I'm
Viper.
taking the Sand Viper all day.
Maybe my new Erebus I just got. I gotta shoot that thing more. But I'm thinking the Erebus is probably gonna end up being my favorite.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, because I remember when we shot that video, it was just stupid flat. I got my own now. But anyway, guys, we will stop yapping now, and hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Appreciate it, guys. Marco?
Yeah, good time.
Am I surprised that you and I both chose this? No.
No, not really. It's got a lot of features.
Yeah.
It is. That's why.
I think this was, you know, there's a reason. I think they got a lengthy lead time, and happy for them. Like, they're killing it, and it's great. It's good. So, you guys down below that have shot all three or that have all three like us, you know, let us know your thoughts and which one you'd go with overall. But again, any questions, comments, leave them down below. We appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you in the next one.